Hey guys, this is Rick coming at you with Weed to No Basis, the podcast for all things cannabis business related. Are you an entrepreneur? Have something you wanted to create, something you wanted to bring to life in the cannabis industry? Maybe you've always wanted to partake in one of the biggest industries in modern day history. This is the podcast to listen to. Hey guys, welcome to my living room. So our living room. And we're literally here at Hemp Q, and you're listening or watching Weed to No Basis. And the reason why you are is because you too are on a Weed to No Basis. Now remember, our audience, we know who our avatar is. And if that word doesn't make sense to you, then go back and listen to some episodes. But the avatar is really your ideal client, the person you speak to in your company or business. And our avatar is the cannabis entrepreneur. Whether you're early stage, you have an idea, you're in full-on startup mode, maybe you've already launched and you're scaling, or you've hit a plateau. That is the entrepreneur that this show caters to. So if you're listening, again, it's because you're on a Weed to No Basis. So we've had we've had just honestly a great time in the industry so far, and it seems to be getting a lot more fun. And the truth about it though is that it's not necessarily fun across the board. And what I want to really talk about today is so let me back up. So I'm in Texas. You are sitting in my living room in San Antonio, Texas. There is no recreational or medical marijuana in our state currently. CBD is an explosive part of our culture right now in Texas, especially San Antonio. But a question emerged. And it's a question, and I'm going to say the question. It was basically, Rick, how does the mess in California, or basically why is California such a mess when it comes to cannabis? And at first I was like, how will that be relevant to Texas? How will that be relevant to the movement? How will that be relevant to the cannabis startup entrepreneur? And as I sat with that question for a little bit, I realized it could be hugely relevant. So listen up, guys. And if you're driving, you may want to pull over and grab a pen because you're going to want to take some notes, especially if you are in a state or part of the U.S. that is not yet medical marijuana legal or recreational legal. CBD is in all 50 states. So it was basically about why is California such a mess? And I had to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, and I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I've been out of California for a long time, but California, I'm saying this with love and respect to my fellow West Coasters. I wear Vans every day of the week. I'm California through and through. So what I'm about to share here, guys, I'm just going to say either brace yourself or prepare yourself for some goodness or for some shocks, because California is a mess. Now one might think, but Rick, hold on a sec. In California, you can buy fish tacos, you can go surfing and buy a joint. I got it. Understand that, guys. And at face value from, let's say, the tourist or the consumer, it seems very cool. Honestly, when you think about it, guys, you can now go to LA or Orange County or San Fran or wherever there is a legal recreational dispensary, and you can go get a burrito down the road, you can catch a movie, you can grab a surfboard, you can do the thing, and then you can go buy a joint. And that's just, you can do that. And again, we are in that time. This is the age of, as long as it's legal and you're of age, you can go buy marijuana. But there's a lot more underneath that. So as I'm delivering this to you guys, some of you might watch this as soon as we release this episode. Some of you might see this in a year from now. Here's the current state of affairs in the state of California. It is a mess. So right now, California has some of the highest sales tax rates in the country. Okay, that's fact. Some of the highest sales tax rates in the country. So whenever you go to buy something across the counter, look at your receipt, some of the highest sales tax rates. Not only that, but the taxes that are levied upon marijuana products add even more to that. So here's some of the reasons why California is having some turmoil in the industry. So one, the black market. California, the Emerald Triangle, guys, leave no doubt. There's no doubt the black market is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So you're talking about an industry that has fueled families. There has been farms there, illegal or not. I'm not making a statement on the legality or illegality, but It has been a multi-billion-dollar black market, and to think perhaps that the sudden legalization is going to cause all of, say, a black market grower to suddenly go legit may have been one of the biggest fallacies or untruths to date. You see, because you're talking at its essence about somebody's, how they live. You're talking about their land. You're talking about their life. You're talking about how for multiple generations, families in California have survived and thrived. Again, I'm not addressing the legalities or illegalities of the subject. I'm just telling you the realities. Even there's a Netflix show called Murder Mountain, and it's actually very informative. If you were to watch that, go to Netflix and check it out, guys. You're going to see, again, from the Netflix perspective, the essence of what the California cannabis culture is like. So I think to say in one fell swoop, or Prop 64, whichever one it was, it is now legal, it's suddenly going to go from the darkness to the light side, it's a fallacy. And it's happening. That's why it's such a mess. But now let's get a little bit more granular. California has some of the highest sales tax rates in the country. It does. Some of the highest sales tax rates in the country. Now you add taxes on top of the growers per ounce. You add all the additional taxes and things that come with legislation. And again, I'm not taking a political side here, guys, either way. This is not a political statement. This is a reality statement. Add all those. The end consumer, the person who's going to buy a joint, might be paying as much as 45% in taxes. Now think about what I opened with, the families who have heretofore sold their pot, their weed, on the black market. Here's my products, you give me the money, you go sell it. Why, again, I realize the legalities. Why would somebody want to do the same thing they've been doing for generations and then give the powers that be 45% of the tax revenue? Guys, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And, you know, it's hard to believe that a governing body can pass this type of legislation to legalize marijuana knowing it's going to hurt people. Now, at its essence, just hearing that, if you were a farmer, wouldn't you be a little torqued about that? I would. I mean, somebody is honestly messing with their livelihood. So the opportunity to go legal has happened in California. And it's an even bigger challenge because now there's licensing restrictions. Now you've created these huge government bodies that didn't exist before to go, and my words, nobody else's, to go talk to a farmer in Northern Cali or wherever it is about, hey, let's get you to go legal now. They'd be like, the farmers would say, boy, are you high? You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it, guys. But that's not even, that is just a part of why it's such a mess. Take this, for example. As we record this, here in the summer of 2019, Governor Newsom in California, Gavin Newsom, has deployed California National Guard troops to essentially destroy crops. They've deployed the California National Guard into the farmlands, the illegal grows, and they're destroying crops. That's, I don't know. What emerges for me is the whole, what's the two feuding families, you know, in the South back in the day, what was the name of it, the two feuding families? The Hatfields and McCoys. That's my better half in there. So, yeah, Chris, the producer, is going, I don't know. And then, guys, what that has done is created a modern day Hatfield and McCoys. You now have the federal government. In Texas, many, many years ago, there was in Waco, the FBI and David Koresh. And basically, guys, we're seeing this happen on a much larger scale in California, leading to, and this is where the mess even gets bigger. The governor has deployed California National Guard military units, guys, to these farms to shut them down. California is essentially, in my opinion, creating a modern day Hatfield and McCoys. That's not the way to go, I don't think. And here's why. Here's the alternative. Here's the alternative to that. You see, because where I believe, now as a consumer, as an entrepreneur in the industry, as a native Californian, is there are thousands upon thousands of illegal dispensaries in cities around California. Los Angeles alone, I don't have the stats in front of me, but Los Angeles County alone has so many illegal dispensaries. In my opinion, they should be shut down. That's really where the problem is. It's not with the farmers. I mean, really consider this, guys. Zoom out of what I'm saying. And regardless of where you sit on this pendulum or this argument or your political aspirations or your whatever it is, consider what I've just said. And you can Google all this stuff. This isn't just me talking out of my, the side of my ear. This is actually happening right now. The California National Guard has been deployed, activated and deployed. I imagine that costs tax dollars. I'm just saying. I imagine it costs the consumers, the taxpayers, a lot of money. And there's a lot of free-flowing illegal marijuana pot shops operating in the cities. Why not go after them? Why not shut down the folks who have been illegally selling weed in California cities? And I know some of you, maybe somebody's watching this and you're one of them, and you're probably throwing me the finger right now. But here's the opportunity, guys. The opportunity exists for those shops to also go legal. Consider that. But here's the even bigger message. Okay, we're not here to lambaste California. We're not here to talk about the Governor Newsom. We're not here to talk about the farmers or the consumers or the shops, illegal or not, in the great state of California. I love California. We're here to talk about lessons. You see, because Texas, as we sit here, is not medical, nor is it recreational legal. It's coming. We can learn lessons from what's going on in states like California. And that's the beauty of this show. That's why you're really tuning in. You're not here to listen to me talk about the California National Guard or a farmer in the Emerald Triangle. You're here because I talk about the shit that you need to know. You see, the lessons we can take from what's going on in California, we can learn from and avoid here in Texas, or Oklahoma, or Kansas, or the states that haven't quite hit that green rush. We can learn from that. We can also learn the lessons, different episode, where we have established policy like Oklahoma, for instance. Oklahoma is doing some fantastic things in pushing this green rush agenda forward. Lessons. The lessons that we can learn from the state of California, from what's going on, we can absolutely apply to, if you're in a state that has not quite hit the green rush, learn from that. But more than that, guys, is the lesson you can learn as an entrepreneur. You see, because there's more and more people entering the industry, the barrier to entry is super low. It goes without saying, guys, that where I'm really coming from is to learn from the past. Don't do this alone. Don't go out there and beat a drum and believe that you can change, public policy overnight, but rather learn from the past. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn from the wisdom that is being, as we speak, being created in states like California and in states like Oklahoma. Learn from, take the bad and tweak it. Take the good and tweak it. All I'm saying, guys, is we have to keep our eyes open to what's going on in the industry as a whole, not just in your zip code, not just in your municipality or city or your state, but what's going on as a whole. And to that point, we can even extrapolate to what's going on the global scale, guys, because this is bigger than any of us have ever imagined. But the truth is, I'm talking to you, the cannabis startup entrepreneur, the man, the woman, wherever you're at, you're sitting there and maybe you're in your car, you have your earbuds on, maybe you're at home and it's late one night, you're on YouTube watching this. I'm really talking to you and I'm compelling you, learn from the past. And if you're really not quite sure about what to do with this, that's why we're here. That's why we ask you to put the comments. That's why, because our goal is to help you become a successful cannabis entrepreneur, to ideate, create, launch, and scale an ethical and responsible cannabis business so that the messes that are going on around us, maybe you're a Californian, guys, we can avoid them. Feel me? That's what we do here at Weed to Know Basis. And I just had to bring that question up because what's going on, guys, we can avoid in other states. You can avoid in your business. Lessons are being taught and learned as we speak. That's all I have for today. I wanted to bring up my home state of California. And again, if you're a Californian, much love. I'm there quite often. I go to LA, SoCal usually, Santa Monica, Venice Beach. Just look for the cat wearing this t-shirt. Actually, the truth is, if I'm on Venice Beach, I don't even wear a damn shirt. But out there, I'm saying this with love and respect. We're learning a lot from what's going on in California. We want to make sure that what's happening now doesn't happen somewhere else. because we owe it to the consumers, we owe it to the growers, we owe it to the people who are doing things right in the industry today to continue doing things right. Make this available to those who need this products, need the services in a responsible and ethical way. Thank you all for tuning in today. Thanks for dropping in today in my living room. And remember, if you're watching this show or listening to this on your iPods or wherever you're at in your car, it's because you two are on a Weed to Know basis. Have an awesome rest of the day. Peace.